Hi and welcome back to this channel. My name is Jörg, which is German for George here at Fun Job in Germany, Berlin. Today you see me wearing a headset talking right into the lens of my laptop. But the reason is quite simple. This screencast that I'm going to do here today is about showing you a website that is really cool, which we at Fun Job in Germany actually use on a regular basis. And that website is all about one issue, which all of you, I promise, all of you will be facing when you're looking for a job in Germany in tech and IT, and that issue is culture. Yes, you heard it right, culture. Culture is the, I would say, all-encompassing really issue that everybody is facing when they're looking for a job abroad, most definitely when they're looking for a job in a country like Germany. And that especially applies if you're from a different continent, if you're different from a different region in this world, which is perfectly fine. But there's a few things that we do differently here, and there's reasons for that. And our job, of course, in our personal coaching program, where we help techies, possibly like you, help find jobs in Germany, is that we really try to carve out the cultural differences that exist between your home country and the country where you're going to be going to work, to live, to be happy. And this is where this really cool website comes in. Now, when it comes to culture, don't worry, I'm not going to talk about music, film, or language like that. Those are differences that you can talk about somewhere else. Today, I'm going to talk more about issues that are related to corporate culture, business culture, work environment, and of course, anything with regards to the kind of characters or the kind of people that you're going to be meeting at the office, at your new company, and most likely also anywhere around in your neighborhood, wherever you're going to be making friends. So the website, and you already see it here on my screen, that we use at Find a Job in Germany on a regular basis is Hofstede's Insights. And the URL you find here at the very top is, of course, www.hofstede-insights.com. Really do go ahead and check it out. It's really insightful. In case you were wondering, who is this guy? What has he published that is so important that Jörg from Find a Job in Germany is using it? Well, they are, as to my understanding, a bunch of researchers from a Dutch university. So you see a few people, I don't think it's them, but you're going to find that they do intercultural consulting on a regular basis for companies like IKEA, Siemens, TUI, Unilever, Mediacom, and so on and so forth. Hofstede himself is a Dutch professor of intercultural translation. Again, not language as much as behaviorisms. How do people behave? Why do they behave in a certain way? And what does culture have to do with that? And of course, they do a lot of leadership coaching like that as well. When you go to the website, there is a pretty cool tool that they use. Let me just double check. There you're going to find tools underneath here under what we do. And then, of course, the culture compass and comparing countries. And this is something you should definitely try out because it will help you better understand the differences between the country where you are from compared to, of course, Germany. You can type in any other country, of course, if you like as well. That's not a problem. If you're looking for a job in the Netherlands, you're going to find even small nuances. Let me just check that out for you between the Netherlands and Germany. So I'm starting with that comparison actually, but I'm also going to type in a couple of other countries here in a second. You're going to find that Hofstede works with these 6 different categories, okay? Power distance, individualism, masculinity, interesting, uncertainty avoidance, long-term orientation, and indulgence. So necessarily, the higher the bar, the stronger the need or the stronger the expression of that trait is in that certain society, in that certain culture. And yeah, you may be wondering, hey, why are there these differences even between countries like Germany and the Netherlands? Even though they're neighboring countries, even though they're both in Europe, and even though people may look all the same. Well, this is, of course, to sensitize you for these very different nuances. And let me just be clear here. If we're talking about statistics like this, if we're talking about data derived from various studies throughout to come up with these kinds of statistics that you see here, naturally, this is all generalizations. This is all supposed to provide you a basic outlook, a basic understanding. It doesn't really mean that you can count on these differences to be applying or to apply with all the individuals that you're going to be meeting. But you're going to find that here in Germany and also in our neighboring country, the Netherlands, there is a certain degree of power distance, which is rather low in Germany, a little higher in the Netherlands. Doesn't really matter that much. But now, look what I'm going to do. I'm going to add India. Because India, of course, is one of the countries where most of our successful coaching clients and coaches are from. And you're going to find how things are really, really different. Let us just take power distance as a first category. Power distance means how strong is the distance that I, as an inferior person at a certain company, am experiencing to a more superior person. And in India, you can see how that is a very strongly expressed trait in Indian culture, at least according to Hofstede's team. That means the issue of power distance is very strong, and there is a high degree of power distance. So there would be a distance between me as an employee compared to my boss, my direct superior, or a team lead. The power distance in Germany and the Netherlands, accordingly, are lower. The power distance is smaller, okay? Let's just take the Netherlands out here to maybe also just help you understand Germany better compared to India. Let's talk about individualism. So how strong is my individual benefit, my individual need going to be expressed? How can I also maybe as an individual get along? And most certainly individualism like that means how am I perceived by myself as a person, as an individual, compared to the group, okay? So collectivism, so to speak, would be the opposite. And there you can see that individualism like this will play a more important role in Germany than it does in India. I can bet in the US, United States, I was right about this, individualism is even scoring at a high of 91. So you can see the difference, how Germany is somewhere in between India and the US. Compared to Germany, India is already low, but it's even lower in terms of individualism when you compare it to the United States. Masculinity. Apparently, masculinity is more of an issue than it is in India, in Germany, which also means the role of male people, the role of the male sex is to be considered higher in Germany, which personally I think is not necessarily good. But you can feel or see here how actually in India there's more of an equilibrium like that. Going further into the category of uncertainty avoidance. Uncertainty avoidance is something which, of course, everybody of you can grasp. Uncertainty means, hey, I want clear paths. I want a very, very understanding path that I'm going to be taking over the next, let's say, 7 days, 14 days. I want to know what's coming up. I want to know what's the plan. I want to know what's the strategy. Are we going to follow all that? That is all about uncertainty versus certainty. And Germans really, really like to avoid uncertainty like this. You can see by the score of 65 compared to the score of 40. So this is also something I really try to emphasize when we're doing the coaching with our clients. Try to, in everything you do, in everything you write to a company, when you're invited for a first round, for a tech round, for a culture fit round, try to give them as much understanding of your insights, of your situation, so that they really know what's coming up. That also means, let me just give you one example. When it comes to visa sponsorship, visa negotiation, even your visa application process, you always want to keep them updated on every little step that you're taking. I really recommend each and every one from our program, hey, have you gotten back to Belinda from HR on the latest status of your visa application process? Let them know your appointment is coming up next week, and then you'll give them another update. Uncertainty avoidance is what Germans really, really care about. So you want to give them certainty, naturally, right? You want to give them that feeling of security. That comes, of course, hand in hand with long-term orientation, right? Those two are so intertwined. You want to know You want to let Germans know what your long-term plans are. Germans like retention, Germans like loyalty like that. And this is especially important when you're boarding on here with a German company. So you can see how those two are actually correlating. And then there is indulgence, a pretty neat category if you ask me. So the question, how indulging someone can be from a certain country, or how maybe even, let's say, more disciplined, more restrictive to one's own passions one can be from another country. And again, this is not to judge. This is not to, blame or anything. No, that's not the point. It's for you to understand the differences. By the way, you can really see, and this is what I knew from when I first typed this in, the Dutch would be much more into indulging than people from Germany. And again, here is that little difference that you find maybe a little, peculiar, a little interesting like that. Let us now put in Pakistan into the picture. Pakistani people are the second largest group of clients that we have at Find a Job in Germany, which is also why it's interesting for us to maybe see the difference. Are there any differences? But to me or to us here at the company, it will really not matter as much as to whether or not people from Pakistan are different from people from India. To us, it will always matter whether or not you are prepared for what's coming up when you come to Germany. Okay. And this is why we're always, always repeating the German perspective of what you're going to be doing when you're invited for a certain round. I already talked about this. So let's take India out of the equation. You see how there's also a certain degree of power distance like this, and the degree of individualism will be even higher compared to Germany, or the difference here will be even higher. And what's interesting, though, is that the degree of uncertainty avoidance in Pakistan will also be higher than not just in India, but also in Germany. So that also means it might be helpful for you. It might be even cool for you to already know that if you're taking a German by the hand, if you're communicating with a German, you know exactly what you should do, namely give them certainty, give them clearance, give them a really good understanding of what's coming up. Again, my example about the visa application process is just one of many examples that I like to make. Long-term orientation, and I don't know whether or not there's really zero indulgence. Again, don't take the data don't take it literally. I'm not questioning, or I don't know how exactly the data is retrieved. I would not know whether indulgence should or would be rated at a zero, at a point of zero, a score of zero here. But, well, it is not for me to neither judge nor make fun of anything like this, just to show you, right? Let's take in another country from people where we also have a lot of clients from. That's Nigeria. Nigeria, it would be also a different setup. You see the difference here. It's kind of cool how you actually can go through all these different countries, put them in, compare the numbers, compare the ranks, and you're going to find the nuances. So the reason I wanted to show you this website is really that. And as a final remark, please note that culture is defined as the collective mental programming of the human mind, which distinguishes one group of people from another. This programming influences patterns of thinking, which are reflected in the meaning people attach to various aspects of life, and which become crystallized in the institutions of a society. Again, and this is also what I want to mention at the end, this is their disclaimer, kind of, okay? This does not imply everyone in a society is programmed in the same way. Anyway, and this is also why I'm now stopping with this. If you're interested in finding a job in Germany, we will naturally always make sure that you understand what it comes down to when you're communicating with Germans, what their level of expectations is. And this is where Hofstede comes in. It's a first guide, a first compass. Go through the website, check it out. It's really helpful. And in any case, if you're interested in our program, naturally book a get-to-know call. First of all, you need to watch the video training, which you'll find the link for underneath this video. But once you are in the get-to-know call, we'll of course find out whether or not this is going to work out, depending on your tech stack, depending on your readiness and your availability. And of course, then we will schedule a second call, which is a strategy call. And that is also a little bit about cross-cultural assessment, of course, from our end. We need to make sure that you know what you're going further with. We need to make sure that you also know what is coming up and what you're getting yourself into. But this is already our job, assessing whether or not you would culturally compatible in a way, right? It's not for everyone. This is something, of course, we do on a daily basis. I hope this was useful to you. Check out Hofstede's Insights. It's really, really nice. And hopefully this was helpful to you. All the best from Berlin, and talk soon. See you soon in one of our next videos.